So welcome to About That Action. I'm your host, Will, and I have a special guest, peace advocate, author, poet, gang specialist, mental health advocate, and father, and someone I consider definitely family and definitely a friend. Jason Davis. What's up, bro?
It's good. Salute, man.
Good,
Salute.
good.
Thank you
Before
for
I have
having me too.
yeah, definitely. Before we get into the interview, I got this thing sponsored, man. Sponsored by a good friend of mine's, Jana by Jay. She sells some dope specializing in curating organic and good skincare, hair care products, organic soil candles. I got some of her stuff too. I told her I was gonna look out for her. I got trying to spread this drain all over the world. She got some good stuff, bro. This is a plain Jane skincare. She got the drink for the bed. She got some stuff probably for your hair too, bro. I'm gonna put the link. I'll put
Right,
the
right,
link at
right.
the bottom of this drink, man. This is definitely Jana by Jay. Jana by Jay. She got a lot of holistic stuff, bro. But enough for that right now. But let's definitely
Let's
get
go.
into this, man. So on my platform, I don't know how much people gonna know you and stuff like that. I definitely want to start from the beginning and answering who is Jason Davis.
Mm. So Jason Davis is, I don't want to say I'm not the average Joe because I know I'm not, you know what I mean?
Right.
My upbringing was a little bit turbulent, you know what I'm saying? Mother and father, I grew up with both parents in the house, so that, you know what I mean, that wasn't the case. The case was that my father was addicted to heroin, you know,
Okay.
at a young age. And he was addicted to heroin and crack, and he used to beat the hell out of me and my mother, you know.
Mm.
It was a daily thing. So it wasn't like it was like one traumatic incident that happened. Like it was over and over again, different things would happen in the house. I see him beat her up, you know, take her the rent money out of her purse. She get a speed knot, you know what I mean? She'd lie, put on, you know, I guess the white voice, you know what I'm saying, when she called her a job and say she can't make it in type stuff. It was that kind of like environment, you know.
Mm.
I had certain rules and regulations in the house that I had to go through. Like, you know, she said whenever my father comes and he comes in trying to open the front door, and he's either drunk or high, I was supposed to take my brother and sister, go into the back room and lock us in the back room.
Mm.
So no matter whatever I heard on the other end of the door, I wasn't supposed to open the door as the oldest. So what used to happen was I hear him, you know, trashing her, she's saying, "Stop, Joe, please don't do this. The kids can hear you." And my brother and sister be crying and they be mad at me, you know, so they pulling on my hair, they're clawing at me, they punching on me, they trying to bite me, they doing all kinds of shit to me, calling me all kinds of pussy, faggot, you know, Trump, all kinds of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not really our brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not really, you know, for us, you know, and I didn't know then, but that was the beginning of whatever monster I became in the streets, because knowing what I know now, psychologically, that was doing something to me, that my brother and sister was calling me a punk, a faggot, you know what I'm saying, a chump, you know what I'm saying, that I wasn't part of the family. I'm not really their brother because I wouldn't help mommy, but they didn't know any better, and I didn't know how to articulate what they needed to hear in order for them to be calm, because we already got our ass beat, you know, when he high like that. They never really seen that, you know what I'm saying? They never seen, like, you know, him trying to show me how to box and him busting my lip open, you know what I mean? And getting mad because in the process of swinging at me, he lost the ring and he whipped my ass again. They never really seen no shit like that. They never seen him turn into like a full-fledged monster.
Right.
You know? They never seen, like, you know, when I'm laying in the bed on a Saturday, he'll come in the room, pick me up by my ankle, lift me up, and start beating on me, wailing on me. My mother tried to get in, you know what I mean? And she ended up getting pushed to the ground or pop. You know what I'm saying? He'd drop me and be like, I got my ass whooped because I didn't do my homework. But I'm looking at this fucking fool like, nigga, it's Saturday.
Right.
And I didn't do my homework 2 weeks ago. You just high. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was things like that that continuously happen over and over and over and over again. So I grew up confused.
Right.
Because I loved him because he was a strong and powerful man. You know what I'm saying? In the streets, the first gun I held was him at 9 years old. I seen a smoking gun because he let it off in the projects, and he showed me this gun, and I got to hold it for a second So I'm looking at it, it's warm, and I see a little twirl of smoke come out of this shit, and that shit lit my whole world up. You know what I mean? The
Right. So
first, go ahead.
if we can take it back, at any point did you see any, I guess, healthy relationship between your mom and your father?
I mean, of course, you see bits and pieces, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes that shit outweigh it, like the bad outweigh the good, you know what I mean? He's also a kind man, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's also a sweet man, you know what I'm saying? I've seen that part when he's not high, you know, but you can also get aggravated when you used to get high like that. So like, you know, it was up and down, and he always used to take me with him to do certain things. So I was exposed to stuff I wasn't supposed to be exposed to, you know what I mean?
Right.
So like, for instance, the first time I had sex was at 11 years old.
Right.
He took me out of school. He had this girl with him. He walks me and the girl back to the projects. I'm already feeling funny because I feel like I betrayed my mother.
Right.
Because people in the projects is looking at us like, yo, this nigga's crazy. Like, and they're
Right.
looking at me, and I'm I mean, I'm a kid, so I'm thinking now that they might even paying attention to me now. But back then, I was like, yo, I'm really like betraying my mother, that who's done everything for me, never did me wrong, never steered me wrong. We go upstairs. I've been through this before, you know, where he fucked somebody's mother in the projects, and I end up having to fight somebody's kid in the park. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because I grew up in the project, so this is like the norm and shit. My father just happened to be that one that's doing all this reckless shit. But the thing that happens this time is that, you know, the TV goes off and he tells me, yo, have you ever got your dick wet? So now, you know, I'm kind of shocked, and I'm like, you know, first thing in my head is I'm about to get fucking raped. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
I seen enough TV to be like, yo, I'm about to get raped by my dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not processing shit too well. Like I'm getting sad and confused. He said, go in the bathroom and take off your clothes and shit. So I'm like, what the fuck is about to happen? So I'm nervous, like, and I had this thought and process in my head that if this ever was to happen, I would do X, Y, and Z. But when I was presented with it, that didn't happen. You know, all that went out the window. It went out the window, like super scared, petrified, all that. So he says, come on. I go in the room, it smelled funny. It smelled different. I never smelled sex before. You know what I mean? I never smelled the essence of sex before, so it smelled all different in the room. I know what crack smell like, you know what I'm saying? Because he's smoking this shit in the corner.
So even I ain't gonna cut you off, but even at that, even at a young age at 11, you already knew the smell of crack.
I've been in crack house before. My father, he's a crackhead. You know what I'm saying? He could box, he could shoot, he a gangster, but he used crack and heroin. So when he takes me with him, he has no problem going into the crack house. And I see other little kids just like me, where their parents took them there as well. You know what I mean? So it like that kind of thing was what it was. So I remember I'm born in 1980. You know what I'm saying? So for him to take me out that young, 8, 9 years old, you talking about 1989, 1988, 1986. It was you saw raw, you know what I mean? And I'm in the middle of Harlem, the east side of Harlem at that. You know what I mean? So I seen the shits. You know what I mean? Some kids have never seen the inside of a bricked up crack house before, where all kinds of shit happens. You know what I mean? Where if a mother can't afford it, she either will do a sexual service for a dude, or her 12-year-old daughter could do the same. I've seen that type of shit already. You know what I'm saying? And again, my situation is making me feel like I'm about to be a victim to some BS because he's high. So I'm seeing him smoking. He's naked, and I'm like, he proceeds to have sex with her in front of me. Gets up off of her. She gets high. He gets high, and then she tells me to climb in the bed, and I'm like, I'm a young dude, you know what I'm saying? I'm confused, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is why am I even in this situation? You know what I'm saying? You know, so my head is not even in it. It goes up, down, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about my private part. It's going up and down. I don't know if I want to like break down and cry. I don't know what. So she guides me. She's high, so she's kind of geeking and talking, and you know what I mean, like kind of like not making fun, but not she ain't in her right state of mind either. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know women got hair down there. I didn't know women got wet down there. You know what I'm saying? So certain things it's just all confusing to me. So we proceed. She puts me inside of her. She's talking, and eventually I end up breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
I end up breaking down, like crying. You know what I'm saying? And she got serious. I guess I blew her high.
Mm-hmm.
So she hugs me, but she's hugging me like my mother would hug me. And she's rubbing me saying, it's okay, baby. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we ain't got to finish this. And all of that fucked my whole world up.
No, that's
You
a
know what
lot,
I'm
man.
saying?
Even as I'm just listening to you, I can, just for the simple fact that she did that act, and one end and then the other end try to console you. It's just like that should have fucked the average person head up right there.
Yeah. For years, I couldn't even date my same age bracket. You hear me?
Nah, I'm hip.
You know?
How many I guess children that your parents had?
My father had outside kids, you know what I'm saying? So he had one older girl, my sister, Shaquana, me. So it's like 4 of us in total, you know what I'm saying? But 3 by my mother.
Okay. And I wonder, your mom name is Ryan Davis, right? If I'm understanding right.
Wanda
I know,
Davis.
and I never knew that. And I said, I was doing my research. I'm like, because I know, your son and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, I didn't know you know, I kind of played it off with that part. So yeah,
Say it again?
huh?
I say it again.
I said it was interesting that because I didn't know your mom's name. So I was doing the research. It's connected with your son name, but I never knew that.
Got you.
Yeah, so I never knew that. I wonder how. So did your mother know any of this?
So it's kind of fucked up story and shit, right? So one thing I knew was never to snitch. That was always instilled in me from him. Never snitch, no matter what. I don't give a fuck what's going on. You never snitch. You know what I'm saying? You'll get your ass beat. Like, you know what I'm saying? All you call he had these mind games he'll fuck with you with. He'll call you a faggot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? If you even did anything related to like telling or something like that, or something that he disliked, he would say that you would be the type of dude that would get raped in prison, like, cause you soft. That's how he would talk. Like, so when I was 26 or 25, me and my mother had got into like a tiff. And
Right.
I was like, like I had sex I started having sex at 11. Who are you talking to? Like, you know what I'm saying? She like, boy, stop it. You ain't had sex at no 11. I was like, now I'm triggered. I'm like, who the fuck you talking to? Like, you know, now I'm talking to my mother like this. Like, who you talking to, nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying? You fucked up as a parent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now I, you know what I mean? I couldn't catch myself. Now I'm talking with a, and you see how I get sometimes when I get upset. So
Right.
I got triggered and I'm like,
right.
y'all dropped the ball. You know what I'm saying? And that happened to me. And I didn't realize that she never knew.
Right.
She just poured out in tears. I was like, oh shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, man, don't worry about it. You know, this and that. And I guess the biggest fear for her was that she couldn't protect me.
Protect you.
Or she didn't protect me, and that I could have caught something. You know what I'm saying? You know, I could have ended my, career early, you know what I'm saying, over some BS. You know what I mean? Because my father definitely shared needles and, did all kinds of extra stuff. You know what I mean? I don't remember seeing no protection nowhere in sight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it was a lot of fluid all over the fucking place. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, so
Man,
that was.
Now that's a lot, man. And I'm kind of moving a little bit forward here, but I wonder how much of that significant part of that played a part in who you become in I guess in the mid years up until even now.
Yeah, it played a big factor. I had to go to a lot of therapy to overcome certain things. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I would date somebody my age bracket, but I was more attracted to older women, you know what I'm saying? Like my mother's age, forever, you know what I'm saying? I had a problem in school. Every time I had a female teacher, I couldn't, I literally like something triggered in my brain after that incident where I couldn't stand up to read in class no more or go to the chalkboard because I would have an erection and I was already like, my mind was somewhere else and going into Deep Space Nine. But you got to remember too, listen, even before that incident, 8, 9 years old, I already had
Right.
started self-mutilating.
Oh, okay.
You
No,
know,
no.
by the
Okay.
time I met you, I had, I had a full body full of scars and burns and 3rd-degree burns all over my body.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Oh,
said,
yeah, I'm here. I see you. You gotta stop for a second.
yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I had cut off for a second. But yeah, as you say that, I'm definitely gonna get into that part. But that's before you, let's say before
Not the
11.
whole story. Tell me however you want it. Got it. So just let me know, and I just let you know how it happened.
Right, right. So before, let's say before the age of 11. Let's talk about how you were as a kid before
Mm-hmm.
before that initial trauma. Describe how you was a child, but how you felt like you was a child before that. Because hearing the story, it almost seems like you were almost a innocent child, like most children are, but you wasn't involved in certain things.
You
You
said
got my
how was I as a kid?
well, yeah. Prior, I guess I would say prior to the incidents or the trauma, because it almost seems like you were innocent, as most children are innocent, but it don't seem like up to that point you was affected.
Nah. So what I'm trying to tell you is that when somebody gets high off heroin and crack and is a street person like my father was,
Mm-hmm.
every day is filled with a whole bunch of traumatic shit. It's just stuff that I could almost consider normal. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it was. So to give you an idea what's going on, I got a younger brother and sister. You know what I'm saying? So he's been smoking crack and heroin. I mean, and shooting up heroin since I was born. So I'm coming into this. There's been plenty of times where my mother gets beat up too bad and we have to get taken out to the house and dropped off in my aunt house.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I go to several different aunts' house, you know what I'm saying? And they felt, bad, they about my situation, you know what I mean? Especially my cousins or my older cousins, they look at me like, and it's like, they just, kind of like put me under the wing real quick because they know I'm going through like some type of shit that they're not going through. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I didn't get to go to our house and I didn't get to get the protection that was needed, what would happen is, say my father gets into an incident with my mother. You know what I'm saying? It's a Monday, Tuesday, whatever. And 6 years old, you go to school.
Right.
So I'm supposed to be at school. It's 9 o'clock at night, right? Or she about to make dinner. You know what I'm saying? He wants money for a hit. She says no. He gets to banging out with her. You know what I'm saying? He knocks her out and goes in a purse pocket or something like that and gets the money. He leaves out to get the hit. That leaves me in the house at 9, 8, 10, whatever years old. And they looking at my brother and sister looking at me like, we hungry. So I don't know how to cook or nothing like that. So now I'm ravishing through the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? Trying to remember how my mother put a sandwich together and stuff like that. I got into the habit of just digging in her pocket and getting money like $5, $2, $3. And I would go to the store and I would just buy candy. Mm-hmm. And I stick that shit in the microwave, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? And do all kinds of weird shit. Like, and my brother and sister would love it. You know what I'm saying? And if it was a bad beat down, she just won't wake up for the morning. Or she forget where the fuck, what day it is. Mm-hmm. She probably was more concerned about not losing her job because that would turn into a different situation or crisis. Mm-hmm. So us not going to school for that day will be secondary to that. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's, I lived in a chaotic household, like, you know what I'm saying, where when cops used to come, you know, she covered shit up and protect them. It was different. It was always like chaotic. You know what I mean? So when I tell you that at 8, 9, and 10 years old, I started self-mutilating, I was already young, like not thinking right. You know, I used to put my arm and fingers over the stove and burn myself at 8 years old.
Right.
The first time I smoked a cigarette was at 6 years old. My father showed me how to push the milk carton up to the stove. I would do the and the pilot would come on and I'll pull a drag and then I'll take it to him in the back. He'd be in there with his gangster friends and shit, listening to vinyl records. You know what I'm saying? But one day at 6 or 7, I tried to smoke the cigarette and I turned the first pilot on. Mm-hmm. So it's a 4 pilot. I turned the first pilot on, and it didn't light. Mm-hmm. I left it there because I didn't know any better. And I lit the second one. So when I lit the second one, the fire ignited. I went to pull it. It lit the first fire and it caught my sleeve. It burnt me. I fell on the ground. Now I'm 7 years old playing with fire and stove and shit like that. So I burned the shit out of myself. I'm more afraid of the ass whooping, so I don't say nothing. But that burn,
it ignites something. It started something. It triggered something.
The beginning. Yep. That was the beginning of it.
That
was the beginning.
Who do you think you would have been without your father? Or without that, or with, you know what I want to say without your, I want to say without him. Huh?
That's a good ass question.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna keep it like that. Who would you be? Who do you think you would be without your father? We'll keep it like that.
You know what's funny? I definitely probably wouldn't be the person and man I am now. I honestly believe that I was supposed to go through all of that fucked up shit to do what I'm doing now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't regret it no more. Before I used to hate it. Before I used to actually hurt people and take it out on the world for everything that I've been through. Like I remember, you know, hitting dudes up, shooting niggas and stabbing people or beating niggas up, and I'm doing it with my father's image in my head. But I can have a conversation with him and won't even bring shit up. You know what I mean? So
was it that you, not that you was afraid of him, but was it more so that maybe you turned into that little boy that might have been afraid of him, that didn't want to bring it up in front of him?
Nah. It was one incident when I was a teenager where I had did something to somebody and they was connected with a couple of dudes, and they call themselves coming looking for me after I beat them up and I try to put on brass knuckles to kill him. I want to off him with brass knuckles. I messed up his eye socket. You know what I mean? He almost lost his eye. He from 2 blocks away from us. He gathers up a big crew and they was connected, you know, with their little gang and stuff like that. And they come looking for me. My father caught wind of it, and he took that as I was putting his younger son in danger, my brother. Mm-hmm. But I did it for my brother because my brother got jumped the day before by their crew. Mm-hmm. So I'm on the couch with my brother, and he yelling, now, and mind you, me correct something. He had already stopped using drugs and alcohol. He was in the Nation of Islam. He quit cold turkey. So now, you know,
What year is this?
That's 93, 94.
Okay, I just want to see the times. It's the time span. 93,
94. So this incident happened around like when I was 16, going on to 17. I was 16 years old, and I'm already a blood. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? I'm already banging a gang. So he's mad. And this nigga slapped me. Pow. This gangster still in him. He slapped me. Pow. So I look at my brother, and my brother already knows we already in the streets. While he was getting high, we was in the streets. We stood up on him. Like one more forced move, we don't know if we'll win or not, but you're gonna get jumped in this house. That's a fact. You know, that's gonna be just like that. And we're not gonna stop until whatever happens. You know what I'm saying? He looked at both of us and he started crying. He was like, "What? You know, where did I go?" He was really like in disbelief. And I think that's when he really realized he dropped the ball. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't no fear of him. It was more or less like, I love the hell out of him. I love that man. You dig what I'm saying? I love the hell out of him. And when you love somebody like that, you don't want to see them hurt. Just like my mother. Like, it's some shit that shouldn't have happened to a kid. It's some shit that shouldn't have happened to me when I was a kid. I'm talking about vile, fucked up shit that makes people go out and kill people for no reason. That's the kind of stuff I was going through in our household. So I love her so much. I love him so much that sometimes I don't bring up certain shit, or if it do come up, a slip up, I try to contain myself because I don't want to overdo it. You know what I'm saying? And they think that they like never could be redeemed because I love them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm doing the work, so fuck it. You know what I'm saying? It's just let that be. I talk to my therapist about that. I don't need to really talk to you about it. You know what I'm saying? I want to sometime, but it's give or take with me. You know what I mean?
You think it may trigger? I'm sure it's gonna trigger something.
I just got upset. I was about to get emotional upset just now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's like that. So I literally that's how my world is. Right now I live it right now. I'm staying in the same projects, building apartment that I grew up in. So I walk around, you know, doing stuff for the kids, going to the kitchen, going to the bathroom, and I see nicks and cuts and, you know, chips in the wall, in the floor of when I was a child, and certain memories pop up in my head that is not the most pleasant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like living in a fucking graveyard. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes. So I gotta constantly like be somewhere else.
Right.
You know, when you saw me, when you met me, I was already on the run.
Right.
When you met me, I was on the run, and I'm acting like everything is like the best thing since sliced bread.
And that's the thing, bro. And I know we're gonna touch on it a little bit later. A lot of the stuff you like, I knew from hearing certain things, but I didn't know. But it's because of I didn't see any of that.
I know.
Like I didn't see, like, honestly, I didn't see the craziness. I didn't see that because, you know, there's plenty of times me and you'll go inside the front of the house and just kick it and just talk. I didn't swear to God, I didn't see any of that.
I know.
You know what I'm trying to say? You took to my kids like uncle and stuff like that, and vice versa. So it was like,
right.
I didn't see any of that. We was in the house and we was in a fucked up situation with, you know what I mean? And we went from one place to the next, and I really ain't see any of that shit, bro. So that's crazy.
I know.
Who do you think? No, where at what point do you think your father could have positively impacted or maybe changed the route for you?
The best thing he could have done is when he converted over to Islam, to the Nation of Islam, because I was with him when he was doing it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I like, even when he was still addicted to crack and heroin, he used to give me the Newport box. He used to take out the for you and stick crack vials in the bottom and reposition the cigarettes back in and let me hold the cigarettes, because going into mosque number 7, if they caught him, they would take him down to the basement and whip his ass. Like that was the infrastructure that was at the mosque. So with the nation, like, you know what I'm saying? I grew up in that shit. So I know how it is. So he had me sneaking it in. But when he quit cold turkey, when he found Allah, something was already manifesting in me. So when I started doing it, I looked for him for God. It's like, yo, like I used to ask him questions like, yo, how did you do it? And when he gives me a question like, it was God, and that's it, that was a problem. Because that's not no blueprint on how to get out of a mindset.
Right.
I don't want to go through what you went through in order to get out of this situation. Like, I already knew I was headed. I hated drugs. Because I seen what it did to him, but I ended up being the biggest fucking drug abuser known to man. I used to devour pills. Devour. You couldn't, every time you saw me, I was high. I had to be high as a kite.
And maybe that's what it was, because I swear I didn't feel that vibe. I didn't feel like in danger. I didn't feel like the kids was in. I didn't feel any of that stuff. I almost felt like, and I still to this day, I always felt like, looked at you as an older brother. I always felt that I felt trusted. I felt safe around you. I remember you even brought me to your neighborhood. I think we drove over there one time, and you was around some of your blood friends or whatever. It was never a point
That's
that
what
I ever felt like I was unsafe or
bro,
felt some way about you.
I want you to understand something. You know what I mean? I'm glad you brought that shit up. You know what I'm saying? I want you to get something one thing real clear. I was brought up and cut from a cloth from gangsters that move like that. You're supposed to move like that. You're not supposed to be broadcasting who you are. But one thing I did know was that when I was with you, it didn't have to be I was reckless. You knew that you can count on me to get down.
Right.
That's what, and I never had to say, yo, Mo, I'm doing, I move militant enough that you know that I'm gonna die before them babies get touched. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna die before somebody try to hurt you or me.
Right.
It just ain't gonna happen.
Right.
Right or wrong, we right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's pretty much what it is. Like, you know what I mean? For dudes that put on that persona of, you know, the angry, the gangsters, and that shit really don't mean nothing because the stats don't show it.
Right.
You know, no matter what you claiming to do and stuff like that in the street, the stats don't show it. The people don't speak for that. So I don't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? So you're never supposed to. I was taught that gangsters wear suits and pack guns, not the opposite way around. You know what I'm saying? But this is different. So I feel honored that I didn't put on that persona. Why would I want you to fear me? I gotta live under the same roof with you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like young boy shit. But I was taught by old cats how to move. You know what I mean? It's almost like you going in a cell with somebody and you scare him and threaten him, but you gotta go to sleep.
Right.
So if this dude fears you, what you think is gonna happen?
It's gonna happen. Right.
That should sound nutty to me.
But even down to, like I said, you know, the kids was there. They know. The kids ain't see anything. I was about to say that none of the kids seen anything. They to this day call you uncle and stuff like that. So it's like they don't even feel no way.
Yeah, but they do get conditioned to certain things though. You know what I'm saying? They definitely was conditioned to, like, look, they like my arms. I have big burns and brands on my arm, and you know, and like, so when I see kids and adults, you know, one of the first things they ask me is like, you know, they might be a little apprehensive, like, what is that on you? The kids never ask because they grew up in it. It's normal to them. Uncle Jay, that's Uncle Jay. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Uncle Jay.
So no one, the kid, he never asked you.
Never. They used to play with it all that. Oh, look, and you know what I mean, making drawings on me and shit. I'm get the pen. We about to start drawing on Uncle Jay. And I just let him rock and roll.
But how much do you think that I guess it was more healthy, and that you were able to kind of almost be yourself around children. Children brought something else out in you.
Yeah, you could say that. You know what I'm saying? I love kids. Like, and I connect with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's easy for me to connect with them because, you know, I just give them everything that I wish I would have had, or the way I think it should have been.
Right.
You know, so that shit comes naturally and easy, and they innocent. They, like, you know what I'm saying? They impressionable. So like, if you do hurt their feelings, like, you better make sure you mend that. Like, you know what I mean? That ain't no nice thing to do to no kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? So all of those that should give me the creeps that anybody can have a mindset that whatever you've been through, that you hate kids that much because you had a fucked up life, that you want to do something. It's like, come on, dude.
Right. Let's talk about, I guess, Bloods, right? And let's talk about when you joined and why did you join?
So October 16, 1996, I became a Blood. I got in a violent way, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely hurt somebody to get in. And he was like a father coming home from shopping for his family and shit, you know what I'm saying? But back then we didn't really care, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like another robbery to me. Like I was already doing stick-ups and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So I already had a name. They would have blessed me in, but I was like, nah, let me, get with the shits. It's all good. So I did that in 96, October 16th. When I joined because it felt like we all had something in common. We all was missing something out of our households that we can fulfill together. You know what I'm saying? It was the same dudes that had like really no curfews and they dread going home because some bullshit is going on in the household that wasn't, you know what I mean, honorable. It wasn't nothing to brag about. So, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like everybody was like, yo, come to my house. Like, it was a lot of like, yo, we're gonna stay in the hallway. You know, if you gotta use the bathroom, yo, let me check and see if somebody's asleep. You know, it was all kinds of like shit like that. You know, and that was like kind of like the, you know, the project way, to like the New York way. And I continue to do what I got into. You know what I mean? So what happened was I was always a loner for the longest until I got to school. Then I met like my core friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's my best friends to this day. But what happened was because my father was doing so much bullshit inside of the projects, naturally I should have been cool and got a lot of kids from the projects to be my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of hard if my father is fucking somebody's mother.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you go to the basketball court and all of a sudden people want to jump you and shit like that. So that didn't work out too well. I ended up playing basketball and having fun at another spot of 145th Park, which is about 10 to 15 blocks away from Lincoln Projects. So I had a couple friends in Lincoln, but that was my core, was 145th Park. And that was Heaven to the Bloods in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? It was a multiple different sets, and they used to host Universals right in there. And it was a big ass park and notorious. Like we're talking about this mid 90s. All of us is 80 babies. Mid 90s. People getting poked up. You know, whoever can afford a gun is busting that shit off. You get your shit smoked. You know what I'm saying? But coming up into that 1990, 1991, 1992, those are like, you know, if you look up the stats in New York, those just was horrible years. Like, you know what I'm saying? In the 90s, it was 2,245 murders in New York City. You hear me? Like, my mother sending me to the fucking store to get milk. Like that, it don't even make sense now. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talking about, oh, it's bad. Like, we wouldn't even see our kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's kind of like, what the fuck was they thinking? But get this from the laundry, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? So I would go places sometime, and I didn't realize the dynamics of housing projects, that the older kids and the older adults from housing projects might violate other areas.
Right.
So when I'm going to these areas and I'm not cool with them, I don't know the politics, all of a sudden I'm bumping into issues like somebody tried to rob me. So it was once or twice where these two same older kids kept robbing me. And they would do weird shit like try to take off my sneakers, make you walk home bare feet, you know what I mean? And rabbit ear you and check your pockets out and rabbit ear you. And I'm 10, 11 years old. Like, so all of this rage is building up. Father doing stupid shit is building up, you know what I'm saying, for some other stuff. So I want to go to 145th Park one day. I'm 12. So I started looking through the cabinets for some type of weapon, pencils, whatever. I don't care what it is. Like, I'm already like, I'm a fighter. That's one thing I am, as a fighter. So I see this weird ass knife. It's shaped like an eagle. And I'm like, yo, this is dope, but it's rusty. I stick it in my pocket and I'm like, fuck it. You know, and I watched enough movies. I'm like, I'm gonna do it like this, you know, like a kid. I'm 11, 12. So 12, I'm walking. And lo and behold, I bump into these fools, right? And first thing they saying is like, got $2.50. You know, that's me, 11 years old back then. It's 1991. 11-year-old that's all he gonna have is like $2 or something like that, $2.50. Or a token or some shit like that to get on the bus, like some stupid shit. So they like, you know, give it up or get socked up type shit. I'm like, God, these niggas right here. So the more aggressive one went for my pocket, and I'm struggling with it, but I pull it out. He's reaching so hard, the fucking knife went right through his hand. That was the first time I inflicted that kind of pain towards somebody, and blood was gushing. His man froze up like in shock. You know what I'm saying? That shit even took a tug to get the fuck out of his hand. You know what I'm saying? He screaming, crying, and shit like that. I got shocked for a second, and I just kind of walked away because I'd never seen that level of power.
Right.
And I knew that I was gonna do that shit again. Like, that's what I knew. That I was gonna do that shit again, and as much as I could, I was gonna find out different ways on how to do it. It did something to my brain. I wanted to see how it looked at hit somebody with a knife in the neck, in the back of the head. I literally went like off, because it was like I got all of these people that I might have been victimized all my life. I get to inflict something. You know what I'm saying? For the first time, and I got away with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was a turning point. So blood was like, that shit was easy. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, because I realized too that the game, the name of the game, over precedes itself. So when you hear blood, or you hear Crip, you hear Latin King, you think everybody is a killer. So that was my thought process. But when I got in it, I realized that it was many that never even grew up the way I grew up. You know what I'm saying? It was many that never even experienced half the stuff I experienced, or even had that kind of rage in them. A lot of them had to get levels and steps. It had to be built into them. You know what I'm saying? I already had certain shit with them. So some of the older cast was like, you know what I'm saying? They played chess with us, and they moved pieces, you know? And that's how I was able to go up the ranks like that. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know, and I was always like inquisitive, like, so I want to see how it is in another state. You know what I mean? So I hop around real quick, you know? And that's how I was.
I remember in one of your interviews, you said the Bloods ain't know what they was getting themselves into. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Like, cause you know, some dudes is off.
Right.
You know, and I can openly admit now that at one point in my life I was off. You know what I'm saying? Off. You know what I mean? And you know, some viewers, you know what I mean, or some dudes that's bangers or been around killers and shit like that, they know what's up. Some people could do some shit and sleep fine.
Right.
We'll go back to eating cereal on your ass, watching the TV, because they've been through so much shit, they shit is numb. So one of my things was that I used to be so high off of Percocets and Oxycontin and all kinds of opiates that if I was in a certain kind of mood, I give the word for somebody to do some shit and not care 2 seconds, you know, not give like 2 shits, nothing about it, you know what I'm saying? And then it's another side of me where the opiates make you super emotional, and then, you know what I mean, I'm sympathetic and I want to be out there and being super kind and nice. It was a weird space, because that confusion as a kid carried over to adulthood. You know what I mean? So yeah, so when I'm dating people, you know what I'm saying, when I really like somebody, you know what I'm saying? For instance, my kid's mother, my oldest, Shantira, you know what I'm saying? When I met her, I really, really liked her. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to be with her. So now I'm talking to her, and she's getting inside of my head on how I really am. And she loves my characteristics of being loyal or protected and all that other shit. But some things that I consider normal, she was quick to tell me, because she cared about me, that was not normal. You know what I'm saying? So my father was like, yeah, you got a main chick, but you got a bitch on the side, and you know what I'm saying, and you know you stay at her house too, and he's teaching me stupid shit like that, and it's like, and I'm telling her, and she like, nigga, that's not gonna work. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be like, why that's not gonna work? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the crazy one. You know what I'm saying? I went to college and I never heard of Kappas, Sigmas, and what's the other ones? The purple ones.
I don't know.
Qs.
Yeah, the Qs. There you go.
So I'm here at Delaware State University, and the second day we go to a pool party. It's 3 of us. We all bloods. We came there with 2 guns. We went to college. That's what I'm trying to say. The mindset was all twisted. We come to college with 2 guns. We go to a pool party the second day after orientation. We like, it was girls galore. We going to the pool party. We about to act, a fool. We go to the pool party, and I'm like, oh shit. Look at those bloods over there. They got jackets and canes. Yo, this is how they give it up in Delaware. Like, yo, look at the bloods. They right next to the Crips. The Crips, they got you know what I'm saying, outfits on and canes, and they throwing up shit. I said, yo, this shit right here. Man, I ain't never seen this before. So I go up to one of the dudes, a Kappa, I guess, you know what I'm saying? And he right next to a Delta wearing red and white, and I'm up there like, yo, man, they got even got girls like thick and together. I try to piece this dude. This nigga said, like, yeah, nigga said, what rock you came from under? I said, yo, fuck you say? He was like, this nigga crazy, right? This ain't California, da, da, da. I was like, so I look at my man like, should we like shoot this nigga? You know what I'm saying? But it was like, it's a lot of people around, shit like that. So we looking around, shit is weird. You know what I'm saying? We like, now we asking questions. They trying to break stuff down. Like, I say, yo, how does this exist? I've never seen this on TV. You know what I'm saying? So now you're thinking about, I was born in 1980. We could think about all the shows you want to. You know what I'm saying? Even the Cosby's. I've never seen.
I don't think so neither.
We from New York. I've never seen that a day in my life. You know what I'm saying? So here is something that is this big. It's a black movement. You know what I'm saying? About empowerment. You know what I'm saying? I heard Martin Luther King was something, and I come here and it's this to this magnitude, and I've never been taught about it. I'm like, yo, what kind of shit is this? Like, we felt cheated. Like, cheated. Right. We felt cheated in life. Like, what the fuck is... All right, cool. I'm not going to pay no mind. What happened was, while we was there, we started stirring up troubles because we did not know how to do conflict resolution. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I didn't learn that shit yet. You know what I'm saying? Right. So what happened was, I'm walking from my English class, and I had sat on a bench. So 2 or 3 of these big motherfuckers come up to me and say, I'm sitting on their bench. I said, what the fuck? This say. Now I'm like, yo, they gang banging on me? They banging on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they telling me I can't sit on a bench. It's a free bench. Mm-hmm. But they saying that they got markings on it and it's their bench. You know what I'm saying? I think there was the alphas. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yo, so you trying to say I got to get the fuck up? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know what? I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in the mood for this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get up. But I'm definitely, as soon as I get my energy, I'm going to come back to see one of y'all niggas. So on the way back, leaving it, I kicked the brick. Like, yo, they got mad because I kicked their brick. I said, yo, now y'all own bricks, right? I said, cool. I said, wait till I put this bag away. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the ball started rolling. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? With the conflict. You know what I'm saying? So it got to a point where we forgot we was on college campus. You know what I'm saying? And them guns definitely went off. You know what I'm saying? On and off campus. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, from any fucking conflict, it was on.
Right.
You know?
And I'm gonna get into that a little later. Mm-hmm. But I want to talk about why do you think youth join gangs?
Ain't missing something. The only reason for anybody to join a gang is because you missing something. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your first family had, they missing something. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's no reason to.
I know one of your interviews you mentioned that a lot of times gangs form because of we all talking, you become my counselor, therapist. They
Right.
create, and it creates that family bond. So
Mm-hmm.
how do we avoid that? How can they avoid that?
Me avoid what? Like getting that tight?
How can they, I guess, get that counseling or family bond elsewhere versus
So I got what you mean. So that's kind of like part of the reason why you started doing the work that we doing. I remember when I first came home and I was on the fucking run. You say, yo, Jay, you're good with youth. You know what I'm saying? Like I wish you can work at my job with ACS, which is child welfare. And I was like, this nigga crazy. In my head, I used to always say that. You told me for years. I'm like, yo, this nigga got to be out of his mind. I got a class A felony. Matter of fact, I was still on the run. I'm like, yo, listen, I'm facing 56 years of life. I don't know what you talk about, but you saw something in me. And again, you do this work, so you have the eye for it. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And some things you can't teach. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So
No,
you got
that's
an
a
eye
fact.
for it to spot it in me. You know what I'm saying? And
Right,
I recognize it and salute it now because
right.
back
Appreciate
then I
it.
didn't recognize it, but you knew what it was. And you
Right,
knew how to talk to me without triggering me, without upsetting me, without doing certain things. So you already had certain talents, you know what I'm
right,
saying, and skill set to even move and with somebody who's probably killed several
right,
people before. You know what I'm saying? Better than listen, you did better than some niggas that was killers.
right,
Sometimes somebody does something a little bit too extra and they're not them. Just be yourself. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
You always was that person. So
Appreciate it.
nah, that's a salute for real. So what ended up happening is that's why we started doing the work that we're doing. You know what I mean? Because one, I can recognize the signs when something is missing, and two, I know how to get some of the resources and bring it into the household that a family may be missing that creates that kind of issue and problem. You know what I'm saying? You know, I expect a young girl or a young boy to go and do something really, really crazy and out of character if our uncle came home from prison and he's touching her.
Mm-hmm.
I expect some weirdo shit to happen if Mama Love brought somebody in the house to regulate the rent, but he into the shits, he's into the streets, or he's beating on her. And you a teenager coming of age, you don't want to be around that. So it's kind of like, yo, she made her bed and lied in it. I don't want to be in that bed. I'm going outside. So I learned how to recognize that in teens, go in a household and
Mm-hmm.
try to rectify that nuclear structure. You know what I'm saying? Because I can do all the work I want with the youth. They still got to go home.
Right,
So you can have a youth. He could be perfect, smart, witty, gifted, talented, and you could give him all the resources that the program got. But when he goes home, that shit is out the window. You know what I'm saying? I didn't seen parents say, "Don't bring that stupid shit home." And it's like, damn.
right. Yeah, yeah.
We did hours of work for what? But so I realized we got to go in the house.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? And we started using that credible messenger model. Like,
right. We got that down. They got it down here. That's
let's
what
go.
yeah.
Listen,
They got it down here.
that thing is the truth. And I used to do that when I was working, when you got me the job at with child
TV.
welfare all day long.
I already know you moved up pretty quick too.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not playing like, you know what I'm saying? Like SMD or you gonna hit who, me? That's, you know what I mean? Let's cut that out. Let's
Right,
cut that out. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. Let me lay down the facts real quick. You know what I'm saying? And let's get to it. Because what you talking about don't make no sense.
right,
You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't need to lie to you.
right, right,
You know? And unfortunately, sometimes they so hard-headed that they only listen to somebody who's actually been through a war and a fire. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Instead of just saying like, he should just listen to you, Mo. Like, listen, if you say, yo, listen, why the hell would you want to go to jail? I can do it. And you know, when I come there, I'm telling them, listen, I didn't see dudes cut up, you know what I'm saying? But the flabby dude that's probably been in here for Adins,
mm-hmm.
he nice with his hands and he's even better with a knife in it. and he talking about taking all that you got, and he gonna take it.
Mm-hmm.
Or he gonna be smart about it. He gonna crush up some sleeping pills, put it in your food, and all of a sudden you're gonna wake up and it's not gonna feel right down there.
Mm-hmm.
I done
Wow.
seen dudes go crazy. I done seen dudes running, trying to get out their cell and trying to bang on the bubble because they got a monster in their cell. I done seen it. So you can talk all that tough shit all you want. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, they think that everybody is like them,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't realize that it's always somebody that's more off than they are. So you can be the toughest killer, but you're in there with somebody who probably raped about 2 or 3 little girls.
Mm-hmm.
He already know that his jail time is going to be shit. So his mindset is, I'm going to terrorize the world.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? You in the cell with him.
Mm-hmm.
So the machine gun Kelly go out the window.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be fighting for something. It's either your life or your underwears, and that's that. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm talking to a youth, and that's real talk. That ain't no game. Or I could tell you that you could be the toughest dude and still lose it. I seen dudes still lose it. Not to say that they're not a man. They just got overpowered. Like I let them know that don't let nobody lie to you. Don't let nobody lie to you and tell you that every man, just because they tough and shit like that, that they can't get their shit taken. That's a lie.
Right.
That's a bold-faced lie. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? I'm gonna join with people. Yeah. That's a
Right.
lie. You know what I'm saying? I seen it. And I also seen tough guys get poked up by dudes that they thought was undesirables.
Right.
Soft.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I learn to respect all men. Whether you
That's key right
transgender,
there
whatever,
too.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I respect it all because I done seen them turn up and have life and snatch. I'm talking about snatch life like it's nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I seen them, you know what I mean, play a certain character for months, get upset once. And all of a sudden the fucking Conan come out and all of a sudden you're going and they like, I'll be back after these 8 months in the box. It should make you sit back and think, like, because at a time I'm sitting in there just like they was be sitting in there, and I'm looking at it like, man, this nigga soft. You know what I'm saying? Like I you know what I mean? I'm counting people out
Who you shouldn't be.
until they do some shit. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm glad I ain't test that war. You know what I'm saying? That would have been a little battle.
Right. Right.
That I didn't know, that I underestimated, and that's a problem.
Right. Right.